Hello, I'm Tali, and today we are going to look at how well I'm doing in the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. We're about to start our September vlog for HRCYED, and we are going to pick which prompt I'm going to try and work on this month. So I've put the prompts in here. Depending on what the prompt is, we probably won't complete the prompt in a month, but it's which one we're going to try and work towards a bit. So I have no clue what this is. Is it like Gideon the Ninth? I think it was an Luma crate cup. Yeah, my friends gave it to me. Right. I'm nervous. Okay, I'm so nervous. What is this? Oh, it's upside down. Award season. Oh, wow. Award season. Can you see that? There we go. Okay, for award season, I was thinking I'm going to pick up books from Spiffbo, which is the self-published blog off, so sci-fi fantasy self-published blog off, so like indie published books, and that happens every year, and I've been following it for a few years, and I do have quite a few books from that are on my TBR. So yeah, let's go. How exciting. So this is going to be what I read in September. We're trying this little mic today because the mic on my phone has been a bit dodgy, so hopefully this will work out okay. So in September, I wanted to try and focus on the awards season books. I didn't do very well. I only read 2 for that, but we will talk about that square when we get to it. So firstly, if you don't know what HRCYED is or the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, I will leave, as always, everything linked below, linking to the creator, Stephanie, a.k.a. QWERTY, and also you will find the little indicator which will take you to the playlist of all of my previous videos. So let's go through the prompts. For by the hundreds, I didn't add anything to this in September. I only have 600 pages and 700 plus pages left to do. So they're kind of like the harder ones, and I need to probably not leave them till last or I will regret it. I've not done my how many books can I read in 24 hours challenge yet, so that is blank. For my horror subgenre challenge, I have added a book in. I've added religious horror in with The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starlin. This is a medieval horror book. It takes place in a castle that is under siege, and everyone within the castle are fast running out of food and water supplies. We follow a few characters. We follow a lady knight. We follow a previous nun, and now she's left the religious order that is also within this castle. And she's focusing on the sciences and kind of magic, and she has come up with a way to purify the water that comes in so that they can continue to have clean water. And at the beginning of the story, the king has tasked her with basically creating food out of nothing, and then one day their gods arrive at the gate and everything gets real fucked up real quick. It is crazy. Such a good book. Absolutely crazy though. We move on to the series Staircase. I have added nothing to this in September. I will plan on reading the rest of I can't remember what the series is called, but like the first one is The Murders of Molly Southbourne by Tay Thompson. I want to read the next 2, and that'll be the trilogy. I haven't decided on the duology yet. Then we get to award season. So for my award books, I'm going to be reading books that were in Spiffbo, so the self-published Spiffbo self-published fantasy blog off, self-published fantasy blog off. I think that's right. And so I'm going to be going through there. I've already selected the books I'm going to be reading. I just need to read them. But I did read 2 this month. I read Cursed Cocktails by S.L. Rowland. This is a kind of cozy fantasy. It's very much in the vein of Legends and Lattes kind of style. And we follow a retired soldier. He has magic, and it's a particular magic that people quite misunderstand. So outside of the war efforts, he's kind of seen as something a little bit scary. So he doesn't tell people what he served as in the war, so that no one knows what he is. And he moves to this small town, and his dad had left him a book, and his dad had worked on some like cocktail recipes, and our main character has a dream of opening up a cocktail bar, and he moves into a small town, and that is his plan. And there's very small stakes, very much like Travis Baldry's Legends and Lattes. And this is the first in this series. I think there might be 2 more out, or at least one more out, and then one that we have a title for but has not been released yet. I will definitely pick up the rest. Then I read Mercy by Ian Haramaki. This one, I won't lie, I picked it entirely based on how awesome the cover looks. And I believe the author is also the artist. So I didn't really know what this was about going into it. I knew that it had something to do with a priest. And that was about it. And I was not expecting so much on page smart. I'm not complaining. It's just not what I was expecting. This is quite a long book as well. We follow a young priest. He's a priest for like a sun religion. He's a sun priest, something along those lines. And he is in a town that despises him, and they're so horrible to him. But the church won't let him move to another town, so he just kind of gets along with it, even though everyone hates him. And the town is being attacked by a creature in the woods, and they come to him and they're like, you should go and sort this creature out. So he lets them kind of bully him into going into the woods, and the townspeople are probably hoping he's going to get eaten. And he goes into the woods and he does find this creature, and somehow he turns this creature back into human, and it was a human that had been turned into a creature. Oh, I say human looking. And he brings this human back and helps him and looks after him, and they kind of start building a bit of a life together. The creature human doesn't have much memory of what happened beforehand. The town love him, and they don't understand why he wants to be friends with the priest. The priest finds himself having very inappropriate thoughts for this man, and it turns out to be reciprocated. They end up carrying out some carnal deeds on his like lectern and everything. It is all very naughty. And we discover, I don't know if it's in the, I will bleep this out if it's not in the synopsis, but we discover that the guy he saved is an angel. And I recently found out on TikTok that there's going to be a sequel to this, so I'm quite looking forward to that, and I will pick it up. When we move on to my TBR game, this is a like spin a wheel game that I'm doing over on TikTok, so go follow me there if you want to see. I still haven't finished my July book, and I've reached a point that it's now October. Do I have to just admit that that is going to be a DNF? I'm very confident with DNF in books, and the reason I haven't with this yet is because I am enjoying it, but it's October and I started this in July, and I'm probably not even a quarter of the way through, so it's not holding my attention. Is it time to let it go? I fear that it might be time to, and that's kind of sad. But I've popped my September book in here. So that was Bryony and Roses by T. Kingfisher. So you can see my review of this on TikTok. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I thought it was very well done. I am quite a collector of Beauty and the Beast retellings. I love to read them, and this is one of the best. This is like in the top ones that I've read. For the last 10 years, I am reading a Goodreads horror nominee or finalist or winner, etc. It has to be at minimum a nominee for every year for the last 10 years in the horror section. So previously I'd read The Luminous Dead and Lakewood, and in September I read My Heart a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. This is the first book in a trilogy, the Angel Lake trilogy, and this was crazy good fun. And I can definitely see like the inspiration for what was that book that came out? Was it last year or was it this year it came out? I am the slasher or something. I'll put up a picture. They give like similar vibes. And also the Night of the Mannequins as well. So if you like any of them, you'll probably like the others. But yeah, so we follow Jade, who is a absolute horror buff and a absolute depressed queen, sadly, and she is in a town that just is too small for her, and it's just not going well, and she's in her like final year of high school, and she is no stranger to self-harm and other kind of expressions of depression similar to that. And she starts to see the signs when some people start turning up dead. She starts to see the signs that it is a slasher movie, and she identifies who she thinks will be the final girl, and she tries to help that final girl. And this is so gory and oh my god. And it's a trilogy, and I don't really know where the second book's gonna go, or even a third book. I'm looking forward to picking them up and finding out, though. As usual, Stephen Graham Jones he just kicked it out of the park. Hit it out of the park, whatever the sports metaphor is. Adaptations, I didn't add anything to this prompt in September. Obviously, my disability representation prompt has been fulfilled in a previous month. I think that was July. I haven't added anything to my heritage months board. I will be adding my October one, obviously, this month in October. And then for translation challenge, I didn't add anything in September either, I don't believe. I was just checking my list, but I hadn't. My Around the World is still not been added to. I've been adding to other ones, though. Let me off. And then the Even Bigger Rainbow Challenge. Don't think I've added anything to this. I think I'm in the same place I was last month, which is I just need one with a rainbow on the cover. And then we get to read through a beloved quote. I picked the Batman quote, why do we fall, sir? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. And I've added 2 to this month in September, which is quite good. So I've added Feast While You Can for Can. This is a very interesting book. And it's one that even now, even with like a month of thinking on it, I'm still not sure if I like or dislike this book. It's a Suffolk small town book about a monster that kind of resides in a cave just outside the town, and our main character gets possessed by the monster basically, and then it kind of devolves from there. Some of the gore in this was really good. This is also a Suffolk story, and I think I enjoyed that element, although I would say it's quite a toxic relationship. I think my main way of describing this entire book is messy. And again, I don't know if I see that as a positive or a negative. I genuinely can't decide how I feel about this book. And I don't know if that's a good thing either, because I'm not like passionately feeling any which way. I don't know. And then for up, I managed to fit in The Sea Gives Up the Dead, or It's Dead. I think it's The Dead or It's Dead. I can't remember. And this is a short story collection by Molly Olgan. And I thought this was going to be more horror leaning than it was, but I've really enjoyed a lot of the stories in the collection. One or two of them I do keep thinking about, and it's been like a month since I read this book, and I keep talking about them to my partner. And yeah, it was as a collection, I think it was very cohesive and very eerie. And I think that the stories in general were very well written. So this was definitely one, like a short story collection I would recommend. Um, just not to go into it if you're wanting a lot of horror. I managed to add quite a few to my spooky creatures this month. So I added Magic User with Teamy at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. I finished this series in September. So I read Teamy at the Altar, which is book 3, and book 4, which is Alchemy and a Cup of Tea, or Alchemy and Tea. But the alchemy and tea book didn't really fit for any prompts. Tea You at the Altar was, I don't know, this whole series is just so great. And I think it's a really fun, emotional, well written series. It's going to be a comfort read series, definitely. And it's like it advertises itself as like in the vein of Legends and Lattes, like that cozy fantasy, and it definitely hits that. But this also just opens up so many discussions of like political points from our contemporary culture, which I think it did really, really well. And one is like mostly dual POV. We follow a Sapphic couple. We follow Raina, who is a retired Queen's Guard, and we follow Keanth, who is a mage. And so I put it down for magic user due to Keanth. I managed to fit in a Faith Folk book with A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saff. This has been on my TBR for a while, and I finally got round to it. I read it for something, one of the readathons I was doing. I think it was the Reading Rebellion, and I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, and I think I was expecting something along the lines of, I don't really know. I think I was hoping for something a little bit kind of like Emily Wilde's, but not like the diary element. But I don't know, just kind of a little bit more scholarly, I think, like a Sapphic scholarly Fae book, and it wasn't quite that, but I did enjoy what it was, so I'm not complaining. And then I popped Make Me a Monster in by Kaylin Bayron for a zombie. It's a Frankenstein reimagining. I actually read Frankenstein as well at the beginning of October / end of September. But I decided to put this book in because I finished this first. And this was a really, really good book. I have found that I really enjoy Frankenstein, and I've been trying to pick up some retellings or reimaginings, and this is one of the best ones I've read, definitely. We follow a young girl, she's 17, and she is a mortuary assistant for her parents' funeral home, and then some of the dead don't quite stay dead, and it just was really good. Kaylin Bayron's books, though, in general, are just amazing. And she writes YA, and they're all so cleverly written, and they don't like hide the gore and stuff. So I think they're really good for people who, or like young readers who like something spooky, or people who don't like too much kind of gore in their books. I saw on Threads that she has a adult book coming out soon, and I'm very excited about that. Next is Become the Avatar. I haven't read anything on this. I keep forgetting about this prompt. I have, I believe, picked out books for it. I just haven't read any of them yet, so I should probably get on with that soon. The Readathon challenge I did in July, I read the books for July Noir, and then I completed a prompt in September. I completed the Animals Are Better, something like that prompt, the Animals prompt, by putting in a farm animal with Sona and the Golden Beast. This is a YA fantasy story, and is it YA? Is it more middle grade? I would say it's like age kind of eight upwards. And it is really fabulous. It's what's the inspiration? I think it's Indian inspired. I cannot remember. I'm gonna have to double check. I literally just wrote a review for this not that long ago. And yeah, I thought it was really good. And then on the cover we have the horse, which is like a main character, and there's also a ram and some other things. So yeah, I think it definitely fulfilled a farm animal prompt, and I ticked this one off, which is fantastic. I added one book onto the queer rainbow, or the even bigger queer alphabet challenge. I added in a book for asexual with Sad Girl Hours. In this book, we actually follow. It's a sapphic book. We follow two main characters, one of whom learns her identity is quite demi. The other one discovers that she is asexual. And then we also have other characters in our friendship group that identify as asexual as well. So this was the perfect book for this prompt, and it's actually a really, really good book. It's a contemporary, and it follows a group of students who are who are at university in the UK, and one of them suffers extremely badly from SAD, but she doesn't want to tell anyone because she doesn't want any pity, and she doesn't want to put anyone out, and it's really affecting her ability to complete her courses at university. And then the other character, so we have that Saffron, and then we have Nell. Nell is autistic and is a huge fan of autumn, and she wants to be a poet. And Saffron is a space person. She loves space astrology or something. And they're in the same friendship group, and they end up kind of doing the autumn bucket list to try, and Nell wants to teach Saffron to enjoy the autumn months, and they end up falling in love, and it's really fun and cute and so fluffy. And I think this will be a book I reread every autumn because I just loved it, and their friendship and then their romance is just wonderful. I have yet to read anything from my challenge of reading 5 books from booktubers. I do have a list of the books I'm going to be reading for it, but I've yet to read them. My BIPOC challenge, I've added in My Heart is a Chainsaw in here. And then for my new releases challenge, my September new release was Sad Girl Hours. So that's just there. And then I've not added anything into challenge yourself in September, nor have I read any non-fiction in September, and I haven't read any of Queddie's recommendations in September. So let me just double check my list. I've mentioned everything I read in September to add on to this. Yes.
So there we are. That's my board for the end of September. I think we're chugging along quite nicely. Whenever I get panicky that some of the prompts I've got nothing on, I have to remind myself that we're literally only like 3 months into this challenge. So it could be a hell of a lot worse. But yeah, yet again, though, I did fail at carrying out some form of reading vlog for these. So I will try harder in October. But yes, let me know how you're doing with the challenge. If you are not taking part in the challenge but are now curious, let me know as well. If you want to let me know you were here, let me know your favourite book you read in September, or leave just your most fun emoji. Make sure to like this video and consider subscribing, all of the good stuff to help me in the algorithm. And I will see you soon for another video. Bye, friends.